Dinosaurs may have vanished 66 million years ago, but in the world of cryptids, they remain strangely alive. From the deserts of Chile to the forests of Alaska, stories persist of reptilian beings that echo through the shadows. Today, we'll explore 5 such creatures: the Arica Monster, the Burrunjor, the Partridge Creek Monster, the Ropen, and the Stoa. None of these beings exist in reality, as far as it's known, but through stories, sightings, and artwork, they endure. And so, as a thought experiment, let's ask, if they were real evolutionary descendants of dinosaurs and pterosaurs, what might they have become? Reported in northern Chile during the 80s, the Arica Monster was described as a fast bipedal predator, resembling the famous velociraptor. If we imagine it as a surviving dromaeosaur, its evolution could have followed a desert path. Feathers, once essential for insulation, might have diminished slightly, given Arica's arid environment. Its kangaroo-like movements, described by witnesses, could represent an adaptation for sprinting and bounding across rocky terrain, much like wallabies or jackrabbits today. This means it would be a very fast predator. Visually, the Arica Monster becomes a lean, desert-adapted predator, part raptor, part mirage, a hunter sculpted by the harshness of its environment. Would it be a dangerous dromaeosaur? For Arica's condors, owls, and foxes, surely. For humans, not so much. Unless they're pack hunters, something we still lack evidence of in the case of these types of dinosaurs. The Burrunjor, rooted in Australian Aboriginal mythology, it's often described as a terrifying reptilian predator that roams rivers and swamps. If interpreted as a megaraptor, it ties directly into Australia's fossil record, since Australovenator lived there. A living descendant might have exaggerated the raptor's defining traits: long, powerful forelimbs with enormous claws. Over time, such claws could have become even more specialized, not just for slashing prey, but perhaps for fishing, tearing into the sand and tough plant material along riverbanks. The Burrunjor could be imaginated as a descendant of the Australovenator, with exaggerated features and specialized in hunting cattle and other big Australian fauna. This would certainly be an extremely dangerous animal, especially for us, humans, since we seem to be within the ideal size range of its prey. Just look at the hand claw of a megaraptor, and with a keratin sheath, it would have been even bigger. The Partridge Creek Monster is a Canadian legend first reported in the early 20th century. Witnesses described a colossal reptilian beast that left tracks in the snow, sometimes linked to tyrannosaurids, although with a unique twist, since it's described as having a horn on its snout, akin to the famous Jurassic theropod Ceratosaurus. If we treat this as an evolutionary variant of Tyrannosauridae, the horn could be explained through sexual selection or environmental adaptation. Much like ceratopsians, a nasal horn might have been a display feature or even a weapon in intra-species combat. To survive in freezing conditions, the Partridge Creek Monster might have developed a shaggy coat of protofeathers, a type of insulation not too unlike what mammals developed during the Ice Age. The result? A snow-stalking tyrant lizard, its horn catching the winter light like a prehistoric ghost haunting a frozen land. Encountering this animal would spell death for anyone, since it rests within the medium-sized theropods, which is still enormous. One of the most famous entries on this list, the Ropen, meaning demon flyer, is a cryptid from Papua New Guinea, often described as a bioluminescent pterosaur-like creature with a long tail. Unlike the others, this is not tied to dinosaurs, but instead to flying reptiles, specifically the Asdarchids, the same family as the giant Quetzalcoatlus. If a lineage of Asdarchids had survived into the modern day, adapting to tropical environments, they might have shrunk slightly. Instead of towering giants, these Ropens could be forest-adapted Asdarchids with reduced wingspans, enabling them to glide between the dense canopies. Bioluminescence, often reported by locals, could have evolved as a communication tool in the darkness, a living lantern in the night sky. Despite popular belief, the Ropen was not fabricated by creationist beliefs, as it was cited by famous biologist Evelyn Chessman, who was an evolutionist and well respected in the scientific community, giving this cryptid a lot more credibility. In art and story, the Ropen straddles two worlds, half prehistoric phantom and half folkloric dragon, even though it was most likely a piscivore. Finally, we arrive at the enigmatic Stoa, a cryptid sometimes described as a strange dinosaur-like animal. Its outlines strongly recall Carnotaurus, the abelosaurid predator famous for its blunt horns and unusual body proportions. If the Stoa were to come from its evolutionary ancestor, one might imagine further exaggerations: thicker horns used in combat, stronger neck muscles for ramming prey, and perhaps slightly more robust forelimbs, re-evolved for balance or defense, instead of disappearing altogether. This is a cryptid not too unlike our Kazai-Rex, since it's also a Neo-Abelosaur, a group of large theropods that speculatively evolved to rule portions of the southern hemisphere, and probably our favorite group of theropods. In swampy or jungle terrain, its still reduced limbs and mottled camouflage might allow it to stalk prey silently, its horned head breaking through the shadows only at a moment of attack. The Stoa represents a chilling idea that dinosaurs didn't just survive, but adapted to become even stranger than what we ever knew. That and this cryptid would be a death sentence for anyone who dares crossing its path. The Arica Monster, the Burrunjor, the Partridge Creek Monster, the Ropen and the Stoa are not real animals, but as cryptids they give us something that fossils cannot, a window into our imagination of non-avian dinosaurs that manage to stay alive until today. By reinterpreting them as evolutionary survivors, desert-adapted raptors, horned giants, clawed river hunters, glowing pterosaurs, and a jungle Carnotaurus, we see much more than the creatures themselves. We see the human need to believe in giants hiding at the edges of our world. Just a quick note, we just released Congo 1880 issue number 2, and it's available right now in both physical and digital formats. Thanks for checking it out. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and activate the bell icon so you don't miss out on more speculative dinosaurs. Until next time.